Hey guys, what is going on? Blue Monster here. In today's video, it's a little bit different. We're gonna be doing an OBS recorded video, and it's not really gameplay, but it's more so like we're gonna go over like laning, we're gonna go over stacking, we're gonna go over builds and tips for Sevarog. So I haven't done one of these videos before, so I'm not really sure how to really go about it, but we're just gonna start talking about Sevarog. I get a lot of questions from my viewers. You know, questions about stacking, questions about builds, how to get better with Sevarog. And the biggest question is like how to get so many stacks, right? So we're gonna just talk about these things, and I'm just gonna show you guys what I look for and how I'm able to play the way I am with Sevarog and get the stacks that I get. And yeah, so we'll just hop right into it. So this is the first thing I want to show you guys. This is laning. This is a VOD from my stream. We're just gonna like glance over for just a brief moment, but hopefully you guys can see it well. So in the beginning of the laning phase, you always just kind of want to feel out your opponent, right? This guy, he was pretty like chill on me. Like most people, I would say, would like run at you and just press Q with Terra because it does big damage, right? And I'm Sev, there's not much I can do about it. But he just kind of ignores me, and I'm gonna play it a bit, and he lets me just stack for free. So whenever you guys find yourself in a game like this, it's just a free game. There's zero reason at all I'd walk up to him and fight him, right? Because I lose. So I'm just gonna ignore him as much as I can. In comp, I probably wouldn't push this lane, but in ranked, it doesn't really matter. They don't really, it just doesn't play the same. Like they don't, it doesn't like, they don't know how to punish it is what I'm trying to get at, right? They don't know how to freeze it and deny you farm, right? But normally I would probably just say go for last hits and don't push the wave, right? But right here, I go for the ranged minions. I make sure to get every single stack possible. And that's kind of what we do, right? In a more oppressive matchup, like a Countess or Grux, they're probably just going to run at you. I mean, most players do, right? So you just respect it. And you just press Q, guys. A big tip, guys, is in the laning, do not basic attack the enemy hero with the wave. So what's going to happen is, find it a bit. So let's just like picture this with me, right? Let's say he wanted to kill me and he was running at me, right? If I basic attack him at when these waves touch, so right when these waves touch, if he runs at me, right here, which a lot of people will do, if he runs at me and I basic attack him, the wave will drag towards me and it'll mess up the positioning of the minions, and sometimes it'll mess it up to the point where my minions will end up killing his minions because his minions got dragged. So if that happens and I'm in a losing matchup and it gets dragged and it pushes towards him, then he's going to be able to freeze it in front of the tower. Are you following me? So if that happens, then you're going to get denied so much farm, and it ends up being really bad for you. So all you would do in this position, if people are pressing you on Sevarog, you just press Q. You don't even basic attack them. You just Q the wave. You walk away. It's like playing super like scared basically for a good part of the early game, right? That's my tip for laning. And we'll kind of hop into the next thing here because I don't want to make this video too long, right? I want to kind of just get good points and hopefully helps you guys. So what do we have next? So okay, so stacking, and stacking kind of does also play into build. Let me make sure I don't get kicked from this. So stacking, guys, there's not much I can really say about stacking. It's just let me actually spawn a wave. Maybe we can give a demonstration, right? So it's just gonna take repetition, guys. Every ability gives you stacks. This augment gives you stacks when you can go through people. So that also helps a lot for, you know, getting your numbers up. I think this is the best augment. And then I'll also go over minor augments for you guys too. But right here, so let's just say that there wasn't an enemy, right? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do something like this, right? Oh, I wouldn't miss that. That kind of died way faster than I was expecting. But I'm gonna do something like that and then R&B through it, right? So I'm just gonna make sure that I get every single minion last hit in order to basically get the most stacks. So I'll show you guys one more time, and then we'll talk about the builds, because there's not much to talk about here. This just takes repetition, guys. It's all it is. So I'm just gonna hit these minions in the back. I swear these minions are killing each other faster than lane. Yeah, they are killing each other way faster than lane. There's no way. So like that, something like that, right, guys? You basically hit the minions in the back, stack them with the minions in the front that are dying. Like I said, if the enemy laner is oppressing you, then you don't do that at all. You just walk up Q, and you leave, right? So we're gonna get into builds, guys, because this is probably the most important part about this character and any character that you play, honestly. So okay, so we're gonna talk about a couple things, right? So usually your first item, you're around like level 9 or 10 or whatever, right? Let's look at something, right? This is one of my favorite items on Sev. Now, this does so much damage to enemy heroes. It also heals you. It also does increased damage to minions, so it helps with your stacking, and it gives you a ton of health and haste, right? So looking at my ability cooldowns, I'm at 2 seconds on my Siphon, 12 seconds on my Subjugate, 14 on my Dash, then 100 on my ult, right? If I was to, let's say, build Fire Blossom, like a lot of people do, my cooldowns are way higher. I went from a 14-second dash to a 17-second dash, right? And like a 12-second Subjugate to a 15-second, and then a 3-second Siphon from a 2-second Siphon to a 3-second. So this item's kind of fake, guys. This might actually blow some of your guys' minds watching this video. Everybody loves Fire Blossom. I used to be a Fire Blossom lover as well, but it's kind of fake. If you want armor early and you don't want Fist, you need to go Elefrost. So they're the same cost, but let's compare it, right? So you get 50 extra health and you get 5 extra armor, right? Let's just compare base stats first. But this item is pretty much the same, but you also get 100 base mana regen and 15 haste. Now, we love mana regen. Excuse me. Why would you not, right? It keeps you in lane longer. You can get more stacks. But you also get haste, right? You also get haste. That's the bigger thing. You want haste, guys. Any offlane, you want haste early. Most items that don't have haste are just not good. Like, it feels bad to build Overlord on Greystone because there's no haste, but Overlord's such a good item on Greystone, you build it, right? So this, like, Fire Blossom is just fake in my opinion. Now, if you actually got a calculator, guys, and you did the math, think about laning, right? Fire Blossom, you have to be right next to them to do damage. Most matchups, you don't want to stand next to them. You just don't. Because if you're next to them, they're gonna do damage to you. They're gonna kill you, right? If you're standing next to a Grux, he's gonna beat you up. So think about it like that, right? Elefrost is instant damage. So if a Grux walks at you, you just press Q and you hit him, and it's instant damage. If you do the math, the Fire Blossom only does more damage at a certain amount of time of standing near people, right? It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. This item is just so much better. Mathematically, everything about it. And it also helps you clear wave, right? And it doesn't mess up your farming. Like Fire Blossom, how many times does a Fire Blossom tick kill your minion from a stack, right? So I wouldn't recommend that. As far as like what I would say building into, right? Like we can kind of talk about that. So I have like 756 games on Sevarog, right? I have a ton of Sevarog games. Right? Let's look at some of my builds and we can talk about it. So Fist and Elefrost are my builds perma, right? Let's look at them again. So Fist of Razul, a ton of health, a ton of haste. Helps clear wave, even heals you. Does a lot of damage. Good amount of health, physical armor, more haste, and mana regen and a lot of damage. So these items like literally are just doing so much damage. You're a tank that's just dealing so much damage if you have these items. Most like if I'm going against Greystones, like any matchup that I don't have to build tainted and that are physical, I'm very happy if I get to build these. Very happy. Sometimes I'll even build like Elefrost second into a steel. Like I'll just go fist Elefrost. Like that's how good I think it is. Even though steel does magical, right? So these two items are definitely must have. This item's really good as well. It's just more damage if you want to look at it like that way. It's good damage. I don't know if it's really necessary for most builds, but it definitely does damage, right? It definitely does damage. After Fist and Ella, I think that's really all the damage you need. Because after that, I want to be as tanky as possible, right? So let's look at like some things I've built and then kind of compare, right? So this game, I laned into a Kwang. I don't know if you guys can see this. It might be really small. Let me try to zoom in a bit. It might be hard to see, but I'll kind of just say. So Kwang's guys are different. I think I kind of test around and like feel it out. But I do think Cat Drive is pretty good in a Kwang. Reason being is like he basically can't kill you if you have this. Like Fist is really good, obviously, for like because it's Fist, right? I think it's just a goated item. But I think Cat Drive is also an option if you want to do that into a Kwang. First item. That's really like Kwangs and Shinbis. That's kind of the only matchups I would get it. I wouldn't do that into Countess. I used to do into Countesses, I used to do Tainted and a Cat, but I don't believe you can do that. I don't believe you can actually do that unless their team has a ton of AP armor, right? And the reason for that is because like instead of going Cat, there's so many other good items, right? There's like you have Crystalline, you have Unbroken Will. Like you're kind of like telling yourself you can't get these if you go Cat and Bastion, right? Like I'd rather just go Bastion than Crystalline, or like Bastion Inquisition, or Bastion Unbroken. You know what I mean? If I have to, if it's a Countess in lane, right? So I wouldn't recommend that because you obviously want Fist, and then Vainglory is a must as well. So I'm kind of going on a tangent. I hope it's clear. Let me know, guys, if like give me some feedback on this, because like I want to make sure it's like clear to you guys, and like if it's not clear, I can find another way to try to explain things. But and then we'll talk about like another matchup, right? Let's say it's Grux. You want to rush anti-heal, and then you want to rush Fist. I like to go tier 2. Okay, so if you look at tier 2, let's say you're playing into Grux's set, right? So tier 2, you get 25 armor, and then you get the reduced 35% for 3 seconds. This effect is 45% for 3 seconds when fully built, right? So you're basically getting 3/4 of the value of the anti-heal by spending 1/3 of the cost, or less than 1/3 of the cost. Does that make sense? So 850 gold for 3/4 of this item's value, basically, besides the other stats, right? So that's pretty damn good. That's like an insane amount of value for a tier 2. So what I do into a Grux, I usually just go health, because health's just better to get than armor loading into the game. I go to lane. I try to get 850 gold. I reset. I buy this. I then go back to lane, and then I finish Fist. Your build pattern should look like this. This is what I recommend. Now you have 2 options. You can finish Tainted, which is probably smarter, or you can go straight to Ella. I like going straight into Ella a lot of times, because at this point you have so much damage, you have good stats from these 2 items, and then you have the anti-heal. That's really all you need, and then you just start winning against Grux. At this point, I think you do just start beating him. Unless it's a Sky Splitter Grux. I think Sky Splitter Grux actually just said, which most Gruxes build that. So you just got to be smart about it, right? You do have Razorback at a certain point. Razorback is a must. Ooh, that's a good that's a good thing to mention, right? So my goal, guys, with builds, so Razorback just makes the build insane. So I'll give you guys a full build and then we can kind of talk about it. So this is like, let's say they have a Grux and whatever else they have on their team. Let's say they have a lot of CC. I'd probably go like Unbroken fourth if they have a lot of CC. If they don't have a crazy amount of CC, then I'd probably go something like, let me get some more. An enemy tower is under attack. If they don't have a crazy amount of CC, then I'd probably go something like, I could go this for more damage if I want it. Like I said, I don't think it's really that necessary. This item is goated. I think this is a really good fifth item at the latest. But I think getting it fourth is a good time to get it. You never want to get mitigation. You never want to get like stacked armor too early because you don't have that much armor in the early game. So I would probably go 99% of the time I'm going this item fourth, right? And then you can look at my build. I'm lacking some AP armor. And then you gotta like assess the game, right? So it's like if they're mid lane Gideon, let's say, and they're carrying the game and they have 10 kills, whatever, you probably want to get AP armor, right? Obviously. So you'd build whatever you think you need. If they, like I said, if they have a lot of CC, build this. If you can build this against Gideons, that's fine. Like if it's a gadget, I'm definitely building this. If it's an Iggy, I'm definitely building this. Countess mid, definitely building this, right? All these things. So usually 99% of the time it's between these two items. So let's just say we went Unbroken because I feel like we usually go that more often. And then these are our 5 items. And then let's say, you know, they have a good ADC on their team. You feel like he's going to be a threat. He's playing Revenant. I'm going this. So why would I go this into a Revenant and not Stonewall? Let me try to explain this so you guys understand. Revenant obviously crits hard as shit. So Revenant's going to crit you 100% of the time. You're directly taking 20% of his crit away if you just by this item's passive, right? Not including like the armor stats and everything. So this item's really good into heavy crit champions like Murdoch, Drongos usually, Revenants, these things. Now, if they have like a Fangmouse, Sparrow, Kalari, these kind of things, or even Revenant Kalari, Stonewall is worth getting. Because Kalaris usually only have 1 crit item, and you're not worried about them basic attacking you. You're worried about them kit dumping you and dealing a shit ton of damage, right? Well, this item is going to help you, Fangmouse as well. This item is going to mitigate all that against Fangmouse, Kolaris, Assassins, these things, and to help you against ADCs, right? So let's go get level 18 real quick. We can give you guys like an actual like vision of what the numbers look like. So this build I have 319 physical armor. I have 136, and this might be wrong because of this isn't completed yet, which is fine. You do get, I think, a bit more. Yeah, you do get a bit more. And then proccing Razorback increases all of it by 25%. So when you have Razorback active, you're over 400 physical armor, and then your magical armor is kind of low in this build, right? Because it just depends on what you're playing against and what you need. But yeah, you'd be like over 400 physical armor, and then when you get CC'd, it increases even more when you have Razorback. So your armor is just actually insane. You're mitigating so much damage, and these are like usually build patterns that I like to do. So like I said, I don't make this video too long. Hopefully that all makes sense when I'm explaining with the builds. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I can explain it live on stream. I stream like every day on Twitch, Blue Monster. Link is in the description. But yeah, I feel like we kind of just covered like matchups and things like that. I still haven't tested Frostguard as much. I think Raymond's probably a goated item. Obviously has 700 health, which is insane. I just feel like all these items that I have listed are just so necessary, right? It's hard to like kind of exchange it. Giant's Ring probably is goated. I know how it works. I just haven't tested it enough. So I'll branch out and let you guys know if anything comes up. Flux is probably not that bad either, but It all depends, right? So we'll go on to the next segment here. What do I have here left? So we talked about laning. We talked about stacking. We talked about the builds. And then my tips for you guys. So number one is just do not die. I know that sounds so simple, but if you do die early, you just make your game so much harder for yourself. It's inevitable, you know, like it happens. So don't like be upset about it if it happens, but just try your best not to die with this hero early game. He's not supposed to win early game, right? So you don't have to feel bad about not, you know, winning lane or like being pushed back in tower. It's fine. You're scaling. So just do not die, right? You don't want to give them kill gold. You don't want to give them, you know, tower plates, you know, things like that. So learn, second one, this is a good one, right? So second tip is learn the bad catch. And what the bad catch is, I'll show you. Now, it actually blows my mind, guys. It actually blows my mind how many times this works. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I literally can't believe how many times this works. I do this, like, literally, like, almost every game. Every game, bro. Like, I can't believe, like, how many times I do this. Like, it's actually insane. What this is, it's easy, it's simple, right? Let's put this on a bigger screen. All right. So I know his flash is down at this point in the game. It's knowing these things is really important too, guys, right? Knowing how to kill someone is super important. So I know he has no flash, and then look what he's doing. He's dashing. But guess what? He has 0 mobility. He has no flash. He has no dash. That's all this character has from, right? He dashed right into me. He fell for my rage bait with the emo. He walked in the no-no zone. I call this the no-no zone. Turn, bat, catch. That's the bat catch. It doesn't necessarily mean into a tower, but in general. You need to practice this. You can literally go in practice mode and do it against steel if you want. Do it against like practices, guys. If you can swing and catch them consistently, this character is disgusting. Like, disgusting, bro. You bat him into your team, you bat him into a corner, you bat him anywhere, you bat him into a tower, you root them, you ground them, you CC them. They're just cooked. So he gets grounded. Now, I don't dash right away because he's still grounded. You see that yellow bar? You want to wait for this to go out, and then you fear them because they're going to walk back into the tower. So you want to get the most amount of time them in the tower to take the most tower shots, and then they die. So he's grounded. He walked into the ring and got stunned. So now he's cooked even more. Like, he just, no matter what, he dies, even if he doesn't do that. Because I have fear still. That's why also another reason why this augment is just goated. Right? And then I dash. He's just stuck in here. And he's dead. So that's my second tip for you guys. Learn the bat and catch. If you learn this and master it, you will be a menace, right? And then last thing is to play for the scale. Kind of like everything like I talked about, guys, kind of like summed into one about laning and you know, just queuing the wave, all these things. Just play to scale. I usually don't like to rotate out of lane with this character until like legit like 15 to 20 minutes. Like, that sounds like so long, but if you just hyper farm the lanes, it makes sense why, right? Because you need to get like a few items. You need to get, you know, a certain amount of stacks to actually be a real character. And then after that, this character is just stupid strong, right? Because he's a scaler, right? So that's what I would say, is play for the scale. Do not get baited into team fights. If you guys are playing this hero and you get a little bit behind, whatever, just farm. If you get behind and then you get baited into a team fight at 12 minutes in the mid lane and you die and you miss all the farm, like, you're cooked, bro. Like, you're actually cooked. You need to just scale, play smart. Obviously, there's windows to move, right? Like, if your laner leaves forever and you just push the lane into the tower, I'm just taking gold plates, to be honest. But if you want You can still look for something if it's close by. If not, dude, just take the gold plates, take the next wave, take the cyan, take the 3 camp, you know, take all these things and just scale. And then once you become, you know, Menace, you just win the game. Sevarog is in a really strong game state right now. A lot of people say he's broken. I don't think he's broken. I think there is counterplay to Sevarog. There's characters that just make him, you know, feel not like a tank that he is. But then there's some games, right, that like you literally feel like you can't die. So that's kind of it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long, and hopefully everything I'm saying makes sense. And I hope you can apply it to your gameplay. And I can't remember his name, but shout out to one of the viewers in the stream giving me an idea to kind of like make this kind of video, because I feel like this is a good video for you guys. You don't always need to see gameplay, you kind of need a breakdown. So hopefully this Sevarog breakdown helps. And come check it out. You know, come check me out on Twitch and see what I can do with this character. This is probably my best hero. So yeah, any more questions, guys, or leave me some feedback in the comment section. And that's pretty much it for this video, so we're gonna go ahead and end it there. You guys have a good one, and we'll catch you guys next time. See ya.